Chosen one, stop everything for a moment. This pause you're feeling right now, it's not accidental. It's intentional. God did not interrupt your day to entertain you. He paused everything to reach you. Listen closely. There are moments when heaven slows time, not because nothing is happening, but because something important must be heard before anything else moves forward. This is one of those moments. You've been pushing, thinking, praying, enduring, and quietly wondering, am I missing something? Why does it feel like things stopped? Why is there this stillness? God paused things because you were about to move, without full clarity, not because you were wrong, but because you were ready, and timing needed alignment. You don't see it yet, but certain outcomes were being prevented. Certain paths were being blocked, not to delay you, but to protect what's ahead. When God pauses everything, it's never to confuse you. It's to realign you. You were carrying pressure. That was never meant to be permanent. Trying to solve things that required surrender, not force. So God slowed the pace, not to test you again, but to speak without distraction. This pause is not punishment. It's positioning. There were conversations you didn't need to enter, decisions you didn't need to rush, doors you didn't need to force open. And if things had continued at full speed, you might have stepped into something before it was fully ready to hold you. God says, be still, not because you're weak, but because you're about to be trusted. This stillness is preparing your hearing, your awareness, your discernment. Notice how your tolerance for noise has dropped, how urgency feels uncomfortable, how chaos drains you faster than before. That's because you're being recalibrated. God doesn't pause everything for everyone. He pauses things for those who carry responsibility, not just desire. You're being reminded that your value is not in motion, but in obedience, that even waiting can be active when it's aligned. Right now, you don't need to figure everything out. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to announce your next move. You need to listen, because what God is about to say next will shape how everything resumes. This pause is temporary, but the clarity it brings will be permanent. Stay here. The next part will reveal what God needed you to hear before allowing movement again, and why listening closely now will save you from unnecessary struggle later. Chosen one, stay still for a little longer. The pause you're experiencing right now is not emptiness. It is instruction in motionless form. God did not stop things because you failed. He stopped things because you were about to move with strength, but without full direction. And strength without direction creates exhaustion. Listen carefully now. There are seasons when God allows movement to teach you endurance, and there are seasons when God enforces stillness to teach you discernment. You are in the second one. This pause is where God separates what feels urgent from what is actually important. You've been carrying questions you never spoke out loud, making calculations in your mind, replaying scenarios, trying to anticipate outcomes. God saw that, and instead of letting you exhaust yourself, He pressed pause, not to slow your destiny, but to sharpen your perception, because something ahead requires accuracy, not speed. You were about to say yes to things that looked where return was uncertain. You were about to compromise timing for relief. So God intervened. When God pauses everything, He is protecting you from momentum that would have taken you off course. This pause is also revealing something else. Notice how certain distractions lost their grip, how some desires feel quieter, how your appetite for noise has reduced. That's not boredom. That's clarity forming. God is teaching you how to recognize His voice without chaos around it, because the next instruction will not come loudly. It will come calmly, and only those who are still can hear calm direction. You don't need to fear this pause. You don't need to fill it. You don't need to escape it. This pause is doing work you couldn't do by effort. It's realigning your motives. It's refining your intentions. It's correcting angles you couldn't see. God is also asking you to release something here. Not a person, not a dream, but control. Control over outcomes. Control over timing. Control over how things must happen. Because control creates tension, and tension blocks clarity. You've done everything you know how to do. You've shown discipline. You've shown resilience. You've shown patience. Now God is asking for trust without movement. This is the kind of trust that doesn't need reassurance, that doesn't need signs every day, that doesn't panic when nothing changes outwardly. That kind of trust creates authority inwardly. You may feel exposed in this pause, like you're not doing enough, like others are moving while you're waiting. But understand this: God pauses people with responsibility before releasing them into influence, because influence without grounding creates damage. You are being grounded, anchored, stabilized, aligned. This is why emotions may feel muted, why excitement feels distant, why urgency feels wrong. You are being brought into neutral clarity, and clarity is powerful. Soon, movement will return. Decisions will resume. Doors will open again. But when they do, you will move differently. Not rushed, not reactive, not pressured. You will move with calm certainty. This pause is teaching you how to move without noise, how to choose without fear, how to act without anxiety. Before I continue, before I explain what God is preparing to release, once this pause lifts, and what your role will be when movement resumes, I need you to do one thing. Stop resisting the stillness. Stop judging the quiet. Stop measuring progress by motion. Let the pause finish its work, because what comes next will require listening more than effort, and clarity more than speed. Stay here. The message is still unfolding. Chosen one, this is where understanding settles. The pause is not just about stopping movement. It is about adjusting your alignment. God did not pause everything to delay you. He paused everything to protect what's next. Because what is coming cannot be entered with distraction and cannot be sustained with urgency. You are moving correctly, but not yet quietly enough. At this level, noise interferes, emotion distorts, rushing misplaces timing. So God slowed the environment to sharpen your awareness. This pause is teaching you to recognize peace as instruction. Before you looked for signs and outcomes, now God is teaching you to look for confirmation in calm. If something creates pressure, it's not aligned. If something creates panic, it's not time. If something creates confusion, It's not permission. God is refining your discernment. Notice how you no longer feel pulled to explain yourself, how you're less interested in convincing others, how approval feels unnecessary now. That's because authority does not need agreement. You are being trained to move without external validation. This is important because the next phase of your life will involve decisions that others won't understand at first, not because they're wrong, but because they're not positioned to see what you see. God is teaching you to trust what He reveals to you privately, even when it hasn't been confirmed publicly yet. This is where many people lose confidence. They look around and think, nothing is happening, but something is happening. Your reactions are being regulated. Your patience is being deepened. Your emotional range is being stabilized. These are not small adjustments. They are foundational, because what's coming will require you to remain steady. When others become reactive, you are being prepared to carry clarity into confusion, not absorb it. God does not pause everything to make you passive. He pauses everything to make you precise. You are learning when not to speak, when not to act, when not to engage. And this discipline will save you from unnecessary battles. Soon, movement will return. But when it does, you will notice something different. You won't feel rushed. You won't feel pressured. You won't feel the need to prove anything. You will feel ready. Ready does not feel loud. It feels settled. This is the shift from striving to stewardship, from effort to obedience, from motion to accuracy. You are not being held back. You are being calibrated. And calibration always happens in stillness. Stay with this. The final part will explain what happens when the pause lifts, how to move without losing alignment, and what to avoid so you don't re-enter unnecessary delay. Remain still. You are very close. Chosen one, this is the final part. And this part is instruction. The pause will lift. Movement will return. Doors will begin to open again. But how you move next will determine how long you stay aligned. God did not pause everything so you could rush when it resumes. He paused everything so you would move with wisdom. When the pause lifts, you will feel an invitation to act. Not pressure, not urgency, an invitation. That is how God moves at this level. You must resist one thing above all else: the urge to make up for lost time. Nothing was lost. Every moment of stillness was adding clarity. Every quiet day was strengthening your discernment. Every delayed step was protecting your future. Do not re-enter noise just because movement is available. Do not say yes just because opportunity presents itself. Do not explain yourself just because others are curious. Move only when peace remains present. At this stage, peace is not a feeling. It is a signal. If peace leaves, pause again. If clarity fades, wait again. If urgency appears, step back. God will not rush you, and anything that tries to rush you is not from Him. You are being trusted now to self-regulate, to listen inwardly, to move without being pushed. This is maturity. This is stewardship. The next season of your life will not reward effort. It will reward obedience. Small aligned actions will do more than big emotional ones. Quiet consistency will carry more power than loud faith. You will notice that you no longer need to announce progress. Results will speak. Timing will confirm. Alignment will be obvious. Let go of the need to be seen, to be validated, to be understood. Those things belong to earlier seasons. Now, you are being trusted to walk without constant reassurance. And this is the final reminder. If God paused everything to speak to you, it means your listening matters. Honor that. Move gently. Choose carefully. Stay aware. The pause did not weaken you. It refined you. And now, as movement returns, walk forward calmly, without rushing, without fear, without looking back. You heard what you needed to hear. Now live from it.